Hello. Hello. I know it's been a long night for some folks, so let's get rolling. Commissioner, please come on over here. So, want you close by, particularly since you're working on this building.
I got that.
Welcome. My name is Richard Baichu. I'm Central's Chief Administrative Officer. And to get us started this morning, please welcome Professor, Dean, and Interim President, Dr. Susan Pease.
Thank you. I'd like to start by welcoming everyone here to Central Connecticut State University. I am particularly pleased to have the opportunity to be involved with this groundbreaking, not only because I have been involved with the project in one way or another for the past decade, but more importantly, for the fact that this project will provide a significant environmental improvement for the academic operations housed in these buildings. I can tell you firsthand of the difficulty our faculty have had over the years operating in these buildings. Today, we officially begin the process of overcoming those issues. To that end, I would like to take this time to thank the faculty and staff who for years were housed in Willard-Diloreto for their for their patience over this long period of time as we prepare to renovate and bring these two buildings together. And I'd especially like to thank those who have worked on the project for many years, particularly those who worked on my new Dean Suite that's going to be housed in the new Willard-Diloreto.
Seriously? I didn't say that. She's in there, look what she got.
Finally, what kept this project going and bringing it to fruition was consistent and diligent leadership that has always kept its focus on our students. And with that, I am pleased to introduce the individual who, for the foreseeable future, will continue to provide Central with solid leadership and with an emphasis always on our students. She's a scholar with an outstanding track record of executive leadership. Please welcome the 13th President of Central Connecticut State University, Dr. Zulma Toro.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for that warm welcome. It's a real pleasure to be here this morning to celebrate this important event. First, I would like to express my appreciation to President Pease, and I particularly would like to thank you for your leadership over the last few months. I know every leadership transition is challenging. Thank you for all your contributions. And I want to thank you for taking the leadership to get us to today's event. It had happened because you became the interim president of Central, only because of that. Governor, bienvenido a casa. Thank you for arranging your schedule to be here today to help celebrate this groundbreaking. For what I understand, you have been very supportive of Central since you started your tenure as governor. And we expect that that support will continue. Is that true? Definitely. We have a number of important projects also already planned, and we look forward to working with you in the near future. Central plays a key role in our state social, economic, and cultural development. With more than 90% of our student body coming from within the state, And with that same percentage remaining in the state, we are key in Connecticut's future. Projects like the one we are celebrating today will allow Central to remain at the forefront of higher education nationally by ensuring that our students will receive services in one-stop shop modality that will facilitate their success. Remember, after all, we are here because of our students. Everything starts, everything ends with our students. With thousands of additional square feet dedicated to student support services, we at Central are continuing to show that our priority, as I said, starts and ends with our students. Our present motto is to start with a dream, finish with a future. This new facility, when completed, will help ensure the future of many of the students who will pass through these halls. Thank you to you all for being here today, and I appreciate all your contributions to this remarkable institution, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you in the next few months. Again, thank you for the privilege of being your president.
Thank you, Dr. Toro. As Dr. Toro mentioned, it begins and ends with students, and so it is only fitting that the Vice President for Student Affairs, a very powerful advocate for students, I know that because she harasses me about something every day involving students, should come and say a few words.
Good afternoon. Let me begin with just a few facts and numbers about the new Willard-Diloreto renovation. As noted in your program, it will house at least 4 academic departments, 22 classrooms, 10 to 15 administrative offices, 10 student support functions, and a grand atrium that will provide common space for events. But those plain facts and numbers cannot convey how important this renovation project is to our students. When the new and improved Willard-Diloreto opens 2 years from now, Student Services, which is the focus of this facility, will be joined by the largest academic department on campus, the English department, as well as other academic departments. Thus, there will be a visible synthesis between academic and student affairs. No longer will students be ping-ponged around the campus in search of services. This was a term that was aptly coined by the facilities committee, and I think the master plan committee, and I think it does describe sometimes, unfortunately, what our students have to go through. In one amazing architectural structure, students at Central will have the opportunity to conduct their business and financial affairs and take advantage of the many student services and the support that we proudly offer to have our students succeed. This is an achievement that few other universities have accomplished, and I commend all of you who made that possible. As the university's Vice President for Student Affairs, I recognize how vitally important it is that students have access to all of these services as seamlessly as possible. As alluded to by Dr. Toro and Dr. Pease and Dr. Beichu, at CCSU, we begin with students and we end with students, and this project is all about students. Thank you.
Things like having these new facilities are not possible unless the university has a number of partners. I see some members of the BOR here. I believe William McCurk is here, and also is Rich Balducci. And particularly I want to point out Regent Balducci. I have never been to a board meeting in which Regent Balducci has not said to me, what is going on, expletives, with Willard-Diloreto? So I'm very happy he's up front today. Something is happening. Is Terry Gerentani, the senator, here? You are here. Members of the General Assembly who are very...
That was my building.
Oh.
Where all my classes were.
I'm glad you're here. Very supportive of the university. Is Keith Epstein here? Keith Epstein? Keith Epstein. Now, some of you might have said, well, we have to talk to Keith. Well, what's Keith talking about? Why is Keith saying that? Keith Epstein, everybody, look at him, is the Vice President for Real Estate and Infrastructure for the system. This is the man, when we've got things going wrong in the building, that we turn to. And I'm saying that, Keith, because I'm blaming you if we don't gotta go. And it's important. And I'll take all the credit. Absolutely. And of course, a very key partner is our friends in the Department of Construction Services. And I've always known him as Bud. So his staff sent me his name over, and it was Pascal Salami. I said, are you talking about Bud? They said, no, Pascal. I said, you talking about Bud? And then this morning, President Ojakian shows up and calls him Bud. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to introduce him. Please meet the Deputy Commissioner of Construction Services, Bud.
Thanks for the introduction, Rich. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Good afternoon, and Governor. It's great to have you here. Thank you for coming. And I want to, just briefly mention that when I first started this job, it's been a little over 5 years. The governor asked me, so what's your plan? How are you going to improve the way we do this? We got to get these buildings done. We're giving some money to the Board of Regents, and we got a lot of work to get done. And one of the things I said was, we need to make partnerships. So I appreciate what Rich mentioned, partners, and that's the way we think of all of these projects, as partnerships with everyone. And I'll just briefly, I know we're all standing, and so I want to get this over quick. And I know Mark Ojakian's timing me, because he always does. So the project itself here today, the new Willard-Diloreto, this project consists of the comprehensive renovation and expansion of approximately 60,000 gross square feet of space on 4 levels, including the basement. Comprehensive renovation of DiLoreto is about 45,476 gross square feet of space on 4 levels. And the expansion will take place through the construction of a 35,300 gross square foot infill structure connecting the 2 buildings. So if you haven't seen this yet, that's what's going to happen. These buildings are going to be connected. The infill will provide additional space to meet the program needs of the Central Connecticut State University. And the renovations will include exterior masonry repairs and improvements, new doors, new windows, new roofs, new configuration of the interiors, and provide additional classrooms and offices throughout the buildings. So I'd like to introduce, if I might, the partners that we have in this project, together with the Department of Construction Services and the state of Connecticut. First of all, from the Board of Regents, we have Keith Epstein and Gerald Cotter, who works on almost all of our projects with us, and certainly Rich Baishu and Sal Cintorino, Jim Grupp, and Joe Pazzo. These are the people that work with us every day and become our partners on these projects. So from our own agency, from DAS, the Assistant Director of Project Management, who will be managing this project, is Emilio Pizzavrato. Emilio's here today, and Mike Milne, who's our project manager. And together with our team, we also have the building inspectors, Joe Cassidy, and our fire marshal, Bill Abbott, who will focus all of their attention on this job. We need to get this job moving and get it done. That's our #1 goal, is scheduled, to get these things done on time. The architect for this project, TSKP Studios, Taisu Kim. Did I see you? There he is, Taisu Kim. Taisu, thank you so much for giving us a great building. Whit Eaglehart from Taisu Kim, and from Tecton Architects, Kevin Kirchard, also a big part of this project. I don't know is Kevin here too? Tecton's a big part of this project, along with Taisu Kim. Our construction administrator, these are the folks that help us manage it day to day. They follow the schedule, they follow the budget, and they work with Mike Milne and Emilio. Is Colliers, formerly SBS. Anybody here from Colliers today? I know we're working with Scott Pellman and Ken Guyette from Colliers, again, are partners of ours. And our construction manager, the person that actually gets this building built, Downs Construction Company from right here in New Britain, and Joe Desitel, Tom Romagnoli, Richard Brees, and Frank Tomchak. So I think some of them are here somewhere out here today. So those are our partners, And that's how we do it, Governor. You asked me that before, and we have to face each other every day and make these things happen, and that's our number one goal, to get this done for you, for Central Connecticut State University. I also want to mention briefly, and because I always do, all the men and women who will work here and contribute their expertise and their skills, the tradespeople that operate a piece of equipment or put one brick on top of another, put a window in or put a roof on. These are the folks that we have to count on. And when they become our partners, when we work with them and they become our partners, we count on the highest quality from them, and that's what we always get from them. So we look forward to working with all the tradespeople that are here too, and to make this a great project for you here at Central. So thank you all very much for trusting us again, and we hope to be back here real soon with a ribbon cutting and turn this building over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We may have partners, but at the end of the day, it does require leadership to bring these sort of things around. And our system is very lucky to have a very capable leader who has brought a great sense of stability and moving forward for the system. So please give a very warm welcome to President Mark E. Ojakian.
Thank you, Richard. It's a pleasure to be here. And Bud, you did very well today, but it took getting the governor here for you to actually stay under your time limit. So thank you, Governor, for agreeing to be here. I'm just going to be very brief this morning. I'm very excited, first of all, about the new leadership that is coming to your institution. Dr. Toro, we will officially welcome you in January, but we have a feeling that you are going to be able to move this institution forward, not only in the same direction, but bringing it to a level of regional and national prominence. And so we're very much looking forward to you being a part of the team. And I want to thank Dr. Pease for her graciousness in taking on the role of interim. But I guess when you do that, you get a whole suite to yourself in a new building. I didn't know that. I actually downsized where I work. But I also want to thank the men and women who work here every day, the incredible faculty and staff who provide the leadership that moves our students forward and provides them with the high-ranking education that they need and that they deserve. Without your hard work, this institution would only be buildings. So we're building buildings, but it's because of you that this institution is moving forward. And then finally, before I introduce the governor, to the students. I love coming to this campus, and I come here almost any time that I'm invited. And the best part of my visits are meeting with the students. You have an incredible student body here. You know it. I know it. Hardworking, thoughtful, dedicated, creative, moving forward to the next level every single time. And I am inspired by who they are and what they do. It's an incredible group of young men and women from Connecticut, and I couldn't be prouder to lead a system that has Central and its students as part of that system. This would not happen without leadership at the top. We would not be standing here without the commitment of our governor to provide much needed capital dollars to improve the buildings in our public higher education system. He has a vision for this system, and he backs up what he says with what he does. And so I'm very grateful to the governor for giving us the $62 million to allow this project to move forward. And so I want to take this opportunity to thank the governor and to introduce not only my good friend, but our governor, Dannel Malloy.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be back to the interim and to the incoming, thank you very much for accepting the position on an interim basis and doing such an outstanding job. It really is quite impressive. To this lady who's holding the sign, Black Lives Do Matter. And so I'm worried about your arm, is what tendinitis. So I wanted to acknowledge that. I told the incoming president that I first walked on this campus in the mid-1960s when before the highway system was built in Connecticut and when you largely had to take local roads to get to this campus. My brother Brian was coming up in the summer to begin his playing career on the football team. That career ultimately ended up in his receiving his degree in teaching. My brother Currey followed 3 years later and graduated. My sister-in-law Tina was in my brother Brian's class, and my sister-in-law Pat was in my brother Currey's class. I have a connection to this place that runs rather deeply, and I felt, and I want to say this, that I felt that this campus and our system as a whole had been underinvested in, and I felt it incumbent upon me to change that. So we're not simply celebrating this groundbreaking. I think this is the 7th or 8th major project to be undertaken on this campus in the last 5.5 years. Unprecedented action, I think, to make sure that the students, who are great students, have a campus that they are so richly deserving of. And let me also say that it's not simply because we owe it to the great students here at Central, or as it used to be known, the normal school, but because it is part of our competitive program. You know, Connecticut needs to be invested in itself. And to be invested in itself means you must be investing on an ongoing basis in your best and highest institutions. And you need to understand the outreach that we have to do to make sure that we're attracting the best students, giving them the best opportunities to learn. We're students first, we're graduates next. And to make sure that those graduates will want to secure positions in our state sorry about that. Secure positions in our state so that we can compete with the rest of the world. See, this is, you know, if you draw a circle, this is all the way going around. If we're going to compete for precision manufacturing, for engineering, then we need to have those programs attain the highest levels possible. If we're going to have a great public school system, then it's incumbent on making sure that we are preparing our teachers to a higher degree than any place else. If we celebrate the arts, we have to have the great art departments. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to future generations. We owe it to our taxpayers to make sure that we have the kinds of institutions that will lead to success, that will produce success. That's what this investment is. This should have been done long ago. This has been a problem that's been festering, and now we solve it. And that's the level of investment that we have in this university, in all of our universities, in our community colleges, in our online institution. It's the kind of atmosphere that we've tried to establish on a statewide basis. Connecticut, we're great. We're a wonderful place to live. We're a wonderful place to work. Let's make sure that we preserve that for future generations. That's what this investment in part does. Thank you for having me.
Governor, thank you for that. And so that everybody understands that what the governor said there was not just rhetoric, I want to take you back. When Governor Malloy, I believe your first bond meeting, the university had a project that was stuck that we could not get over after many years moving it forward. In fact, it was the police department. I see the officers are here in full force today. It's probably because they're here, Governor. Of many of the issues going on in the state at that time, Governor Malloy moved that project forward. I remember that because I went before to testify and you asked a question kidding me and I thought you were kidding. I got up to walk away and said, no, sit back down. I need to ask you the question. And we had many issues, a lot of projects in the state. Governor Malloy chose that central project to move forward, to get it done. So what the governor just said is not rhetoric, it's actually action that he has taken place to do. So, it's raining, let's throw some dirt and get everybody out of here. Charlene Casamento and the provost, Dr. Lovett. Come forward, please. Who has the hats and the shovels? Oh, they're over here. Charlene?